Good morning everyone from beautiful Malkacoota. So I'll be showing you where I'm up to on my fabric collage piece inspired by Fleur Woods shortly. I just thought I'd bring you up and give you a bit of a view from the deck here. So there's some lovely atmospheric storm clouds in the distance over the inlet there, the beautiful water. You can hear the bird call. So this deck is so lovely to sit on. There's actually I'll show you because I've got my sewing supplies out over there. And so lovely to sit at that bench and enjoy this view. Alex and I find we just sit there most of the time that we're at the house here because it's so lovely to sit there on the stools, up at the bench, and just, yeah, Alex will relax and I will stitch away. We saw a kangaroo go down the street just before. I wish I filmed it because one of my subscribers even finds the word kangaroo funny. So I'm sure you would have loved seeing a kangaroo jumping down a somewhat sort of residential street. So I'll bring you down now and we will have a look. I'm having to freehand film, one because of the size, and two, I don't have my little filming stand with me. So what I did in the car yesterday as we drove down the coast, and I will put some images and I think I took a bit of video as well. I'll put that at the end of this video, so those that like all the scenery, you can enjoy that. But I stitched down all of the pieces on this, so all of the bits of doily all got stitched down. I'll show you the back. You can see all of the stitching into the beautiful soft blanket. It is so lovely. It was so lovely holding it in my lap. So everything is now anchored down. And what I've just been doing this morning is starting to add, this is the first of my coloured bits of lace or embellishment that I've stitched on. And what I'm trying to do is to make sure that my piece isn't a rectangle. So I've just this morning also added this doily, which was already this colour. It's so perfect. I think probably the door that I'm basing it on at the studio is a slightly more greeny colour, but that's kind of one of the colours I'm going for. And this was the little doily I found in the, or the little tattered doily, tatting doily that I found in the op shop in Robertson. So I've added that on because that's then a lovely connection to place. And what else have I added? No, I don't think I've added anything else. I am planning to add some more little doilies down here. Let me just take you over and see if I can grab those. Sorry, I should be letting you look at the view as we wander over. So I'm thinking I'll add at least 3 of these little ones down here. Like this. I think that could be rather lovely, having those sort of, because I just want to have the edges sort of a bit softened up to lose that rectangular effect. And so I think I'll probably end up adding something maybe over here or something else up there, but at least at the moment it's starting to take shape. And so I think in the next part of this video I'll start adding on more of my coloured laces and embellishments, just to start to bring in that real brightness of colour. I thought if I get those on now, that will help me as I'm also weaving colour story through, because I thought even with something like this, it might start to prompt some of the stitching and then bringing those colours almost flowing up through the piece. So it might start to suggest things. The other thing I did in the car yesterday, oh, there's an ant crawling on my little garden. I started using some of the beautiful Fleur wool to just paint into the existing flower that was on there. I want to bring in more of this bluey purple colour, so there was some little flecks in the wool, but I want to get a bit more of that in there. And I thought maybe some lighter pinks on the edges here as though it's catching the light. So yeah, I'll be probably back in the same video to do a bit of work on this, but I thought I'd just give you an update now. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I am back with my piece. I ended up working off camera to attach my pieces of coloured lace and other embellishments. Because I don't have my stand with me, it would have been too hard, and it is quite a large piece, and I did a fair bit of auditioning as well, but I'm actually really happy with how it is looking. It is an absolute riot of the colours that I wanted to incorporate, and really has that Fibre vibe to it, which is what I was going for, and inspired by the door at Green Door Studios. If I remember, I'll insert a little photo of the door and the painting there so you can kind of see my inspiration. So I'll talk you through what I have done with the coloured laces. So starting down here, I've got this piece that I sort of painted in the different yellows through to the greens, and then I've got another piece which is that pink and orangey piece up into my C. That's a C there for Christine, and then I've used some little daisy embellishments I had, and I've interspersed those with the pansy piece. So I think that's really fun to kind of be interspersing elements. I've used some of the leaves which actually came off this piece and this one. This was actually this one with the C in the middle, and then it had these leaf elements which I have used in other places. Sorry, I'm sitting on a little outdoor couch and filming it. And then I've got another painted piece, another painted piece. I've added this piece on since you would have seen it, which was just off a handkerchief or something. I think it's machine embroidered. This piece which I'd painted at Green Door, this one which was this lovely sort of centerpiece which I've detached into parts. Another painted motif from Green Door. I've added these little mini doily, taken apart a doily to add these pieces down here. And there's one more piece of that doily up here. So I'm kind of trying to bring the eye across the piece in different directions. Another painted piece there, some beaded pieces that I had from Pitt Trading, this doily I already had in this colour, that one I think I already had in that colour, but that's a painted piece, that's a painted piece. And then I used this piece which I'd off-cut off the beaded piece up there, so I kind of echoed that one down to here, and then I had another piece off that same embellishment that I've brought down here below the flower. So coming up, we come up, we've got the little bobble piece which I painted in those graduating colours, and then up to the corner where you can see my various painted pieces surrounding the little yellow daisy that was there. Coming across the top, we've got that piece of tatting, and then I've added my heart. I just love how it kind of comes down next to the piece, that other piece of beading. And then, yeah, we've got this riot of roses. Alex goes, oh, but there aren't green roses or blue roses. And I said, well, there are on this piece. So, and I've added a bird. This was off a tea towel. I will end up sort of finishing in the head. It's a bit of strange design, but I think it'll be fun to stitch into that. And now I've got my three birds representing Christy, Sally, and myself. So 3 birds on there, which I like to include in my work. And another beautiful piece of the painted one down there. What else have I got? What else have I added? And then, yeah, I've got bits of greenery, sorry, coming down to where you can see. Added those ones which were painted as well. Got this one which is a more yellowy colour, but I think I'll stitch in with a brighter yellow because it's almost like a mustard, and then put a daisy on the middle. I think that's the main additions. Oh, and then added these bits of lace which are off the edge of a doily that was already blue, so I've sort of got those 2 bits so the eye passes across the piece. But I'll come up again just so you can kind of see how they look all in formation. And I think it's now ready. I'll obviously have to stitch some of those pieces I've just added because at the moment they're just tacked down with some Yoo-hoo glue. But I love that the borders have it's not perfectly rectangular, it's got sort of bits shooting out from it. I love that there's really quite a lot of that vibrant colour coming in from the edges but then infiltrating up into the piece. And obviously with my stitching, that's where I can add further vibrancy. For example, stitching into this centerpiece, stitching into this area up here. I think I'll be doing lots of French knots. I've got to kind of work out a way to use a level of thread that doesn't drown out elements, for example these ones, or I could potentially fill this area with lots of yeah, French, not French knots, lazy daisy stitches to make daisies could work as well. But yeah, that will be the challenge, sort of keeping the design elements, but then adding those mark making and embellishing stitches. So I'll just hover here for a moment so that you can have a good look at what is there. It's also useful for me as well, just to kind of see it through the camera lens, because you do definitely get a different perspective when it's like that. And I'll just go and do a little bit of a pan. Sorry, that's my shoes that you can see there. Just give you a little bit of a pan across so you can see the detail. Sorry, it will be handheld filming this week until I'm back home and have my stand, but this is quite a big piece. But I suppose we can do the mark making stitching into it, sort of section by section. But one of the things Fleur does say is to sort of jump around with that, so you get that sort of colour distribution. I love how I've got this really colourful bit around this sort of white section. Originally I was going to leave it all white down here, but I think it works much better now that it does have that burst of colour, and it really then makes the sort of the white stand out. Just come back down in. So it's going to be a lot of fun to stitch for sure, and just so much possibility will be able to be explored. And as I say, there's nothing stopping me even stitching over some of the added elements if I decide that the piece needs something different as I go along. So I will leave it at that, and then next up you'll be seeing a little haul from the op shop here, and then after that some of the lovely scenery from yesterday's drive down the coast, and our lovely beachy time here as well. Thanks everyone. Hello everyone, I have had a little shop at the Malkacoota op shop, so I thought I'd film a little haul video. So I got some lovely goodies, all very well priced and supporting the local community. So some red hessian, which I don't have any of this in my collection, thought it might be lovely for some Christmas crafts. So that was $2. And then some vintage crochet cotton, which I think is going to be the perfect yellow for me for my current Fleur Woods fabric collage piece. So I didn't have a yellow like this in my little travelling stash. And then a lovely brown, it's called silk cotton, lace cotton, so crochet, but you can just use it like a regular sewing cotton. Some very sweet, and apologies for the rustling, some sweet little felt decorations. Just pop the fabric down. So that's really cute. Another little flower. You could even add these as little pin cushions to little, little sewing books. Even little closures could be incredibly sweet. So I love my birds. So these might even become little Christmas decorations, I think, as well. But again, just a lovely design to make others, because I do have a lot of felt at home. Look at the little sweet love heart on that one. So that's a sweet little collection. Actually, I'll slide them up here. Slide them down, just filming freelance with this propped up on a tin on the bench. Now got a tablecloth. It does have quite a bit of staining, so I think it will end up being a cutter piece, which is always handy as well. But look at the beautiful thread work down here and the beautiful embroidery on it, and it's quite large. Sorry, not sure how well you'll be able to see, but we'll do our best. Fluttering in the wind. It's a gorgeous day here. Started off with clouds in the sky. There's still a few white clouds around. I think there's an ant trying to eat my leg. Hang on. There we go. So yeah, that will be popped in the wash for a soak and then a wash. And then, oh, I didn't even know this one actually had writing on it. What has someone stitched onto it? It's a piece of quilt. And this looks like there was a lady that must have been doing, I'm assuming a lady, that must have been doing quite a bit of quilting. We'll share our tears, and someone hasn't finished the rest of their stitching, but I thought, yeah, very useful. It's calico quilted on both sides, so great for making containers or pouches, all sorts of things and it's a decent sized piece. So again, I'll pop that in the wash. I'll probably take the writing out of it, unless I keep that one little bit of writing. A brand new little oven mitt. It's still got its little bit of plastic in it, but I did have a thought, because it's got beautiful bees and sunflowers on it. I thought this could even be a great little horsewhip, because it's already got little inbuilt pockets in it and folds over, so either oven mitt or horsewhip. Now onto some of the beautiful pieces of patchworky applique work. There were two of these actually, and I only saw the sea themed one, which I'll show you in a moment, but then found behind it, on the label it said cushion covers or cushion fronts. And so it's on sort of on a backing piece, and then someone's created these sweet little birds, and you know how much I love birds. So this might either become a little container or the front for a little pouch bag. But I love looking at it, and I'll be able to add my own stitching into it as well, I think. So I think it's lovely to add to these thrifted pieces. The bag's flowing away. I'll just get Alex to pop it in my other bag over there. And then a sea themed piece, which is perfect, because today I was picking up some little shells with holes on them on the beach. So I think this might become a little pouch, a little souvenir pouch from here. And I'll stitch some shells and other things on. Bring it a bit closer so you can have a look. So there's that one. And then another bird piece. So I'm assuming this is all from the same person's collection, making lots of lovely things, and then they didn't necessarily get turned into anything, but I will love turning them in and honouring them. Just so thrilled. It seems to have been the trip for finding, I found those little patchwork pieces in Robertson, and then again some more patchwork pieces. So it was $4 for this entire bundle, which looks like quite a lot, and they're beautiful. Sorry, there's little ants on the deck and they're trying to climb me. Look at that beautiful batik fabric. So one, it's a bit of wind too, so I'll have to make sure they don't go flying off down into the garden below. We have a lovely deck up here that you will have probably seen in my earlier video. Sorry, I was just doing the ant dance again. There was an ant running up my leg. Seems to be ants everywhere in Victoria at the moment. Alex is now inspecting his legs over on the couch for ants. Aren't they beautiful colours? So yeah, these will definitely, I think I might have to get these into a little quilt or something, or they could be lovely just to use in other projects as well, pouches and containers, but there's probably is enough for a quilt here, and possibly combined with those other blocks that I got from Robertson. They have been, yeah, I think they've been well stitched and all pressed on the back, so they were just waiting probably to be brought together into a quilt. But such vibrant colours, they're my kind of colours for a happy quilt. So it would have to be done by hand. I don't have a sewing machine, so I'd have to hand stitch them together. And that one. So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so 5 by 3 would be, so if you had 3, so it might be a nice little lap quilt, I guess, because that would be 3, you probably can't see across, but yeah, sort of 3 across would be a nice lap size, and then 5 across that way. Yeah, so I think that might become a nice little souvenir lap quilt from here, and I can then do some lovely yeah, hand stitching, hand quilting of these as well. And then, actually I'll keep going with these, I'll come back to those in a moment. Isn't this one absolutely stunning? It is a little sea, hand painted scene. It's even got the artist's initials on it, and it has then been stitched into, but it's just what I've been looking at on the beach today, seaweed and lovely shells and things. So again, I think this will have to go into a special pouch, probably with that other piece that I had, the other sea piece. Maybe one could be on the front, one could be on the back. They're about the same size, so it could definitely work. I think the colours might go, but we can have a ponder. And then some chocolate coloured hessian. So I've got the regular coloured hessian, but not this colour, so that will be great. And it's a really nice fine hessian. I thought it could be nice for lining containers with and giving some structure. A sweet little handkerchief with just some lovely hand cross stitching on it, and a very fine doily, like nice to overlay things because you can still see colours through it. And then a quilt front with applique flowers, and it looks like someone's done some hand painting of the leaves, which is really interesting given we've been doing that this week or last week at Fleur's course. So it's a decent sized quilt front, so again that probably needs to be turned into something because it's got these lovely squares around each of the flowers. Sorry, it's not the easiest to show you, but probably easier than actually showing you on a table to hold it up like this. And then this one, beautiful, again those beautiful batiks and other fabrics, but a lovely flower. So I imagine that was going to be like a cushion cover or something, but again could be nice to put on a pouch or something. Could even sort of lap over the front of a pouch. That could be quite nice, and over to the back. And another piece of sort of applique, but then starting to stitch into it, and I thought this could have lots more added to it. It'd be great as a base for a sort of another fabric collage piece or beading or other, turning these into flowers with thread and fabric. And then a beautiful cotton blanket with these little appliqued hearts on it. It has hearts already in the design. I've got something similar at home, a vintage one that I got. And this one's got lovely fabric around the edging as well. I think it's got a few little stains on it, but we often use these, and I like the cotton ones just as a little throw in sort of mid-season when you don't want a hot throw on you. Now this one's a Clover product, and originally when someone bought it new it was $17.50. This was $3 at the op shop, and it is a mesh transfer canvas. So I'm going to have to experiment with it. It says you don't need to cut it out, you just draw on it, you use a pen to trace the design onto the mesh, and then once it's been traced, remove the mesh transfer canvas and a dotted traced line will appear. So that's kind of cool. So that will be fun to have a play with. And then finally we have a bag of belt buckles, which I don't have many belt buckles in my collection. I thought they would be really good to use on pouches. I'll sign off there, and I think I'll be sharing some footage after this of our travel down the coast and beachy walks and other exploring around here. Bye everyone. Part of the coast on the way travelling down from the Southern Highlands down towards Malkacoota, so this is near Bateman's Bay. Travis is with us, not a national park, so he can come along with us.
And the boys are fine. Good.
Is that nice, Bob? This is called Snapper Point. Travis is getting a bit talkative. Travis. I think he wants to go for a swim. He's getting a little bit wide because there's water there, Mum, and I want to go for a swim. So Snapper Point, Serene Snapper Island. Really beautiful here. I think we might need to come back here one day for a holiday. Lunch with some goodies from the bakery in the Dubber. They're nice, Travis? First walk at Malkacoota. Good morning everyone from beautiful Malkacoota. So I'm standing on our deck. We've got some lovely atmospheric storm clouds in the distance, but it's already a lovely warm temperature here. The sun was beaming through the clouds before. I'll probably intersperse some photos in this video so you will see some other moments of the morning as we've been sitting on the deck and sipping our coffee. I've been doing more work. Nice tremors. So here's a field of kangaroos. grazing on the grass. One of my special subscribers who loves when I say kangaroo, and here is a special look at some in the distance. There's also a kookaburra watching over us up in the tree up here. I'll just bring you around and hopefully not make you dizzy and bring you over. So that's the kookaburra up there in the centre watching over the paddock. Come back down and have a look. It's an electric fence here, so we won't go near it. That's as far as I can zoom in, unfortunately, for our kangaroos. Don't think there's any closer up, no. But this paddock always has lots in there, eating away on the grass. They just come down from the forest behind. I think